Hey, how's it going, guys? Thank you for joining, stopping by, joining the live. My name is Rick. I'm also known as Rick Two Cents. This is my son, Lil Ricky. So we're doing a live questions and answers today. Anyone has woodworking, laser engraving questions? We got questions. We got answers. I wanted to address a couple things that people came up. First off, I just want to say, man, I have some loyal subscribers. And then if and when I miss a live or I haven't showed up in a couple weeks, I do get these emails to say, "Hey, is everything going all right, Rick? How you doing? How's the family? Checking up on me." So generally concerned. Hold on, we're not doing. So generally concerned and asking, and that's awesome. I appreciate that. But I also want to kind of make sure that you understand that. Um,
Today we're on
hold on. Sorry, guys. I just want to make sure everyone understands this. That most of us, except for Steve, also work on all the trades. So Roger is IBW. I'm in IBW.
unboxing and ring camera.
you know, uh, uh,
Ring doorbell.
so Roger is an IBW. I'm an IBW, and we're both still working. Roger owns a farm as well as I own a farm. So at certain times we are busy because there's things we have to do. And the bearded Viking, he's in the trades building homes. So as you know, this time of year sometimes we get busy on personal things. So no disrespect to any of our subscribers. It's not that Ricky, please stop. It's not that we're not dedicated. Our subscribers are dedicated to live. The whole idea of this live is that there's enough of us. So if there's something personal, professional comes up, that someone still can join live, and answer any questions. So I hope everyone understands. So we're not slacking or lacking on live. We are cooperating with each other and covering each other, and that's the whole point of the live. And that we're not actually just live on YouTube. So I don't know how you guys are watching, but we're live on YouTube, we're live on TikTok, we're live on Twitter, we're live on Instagram, we're live on Facebook, and that's for every single one of our platforms. So anyone who joined me today, I just want to say thank you for joining me. Happy 4th of July. I know everyone's not from the States. I do see some people popping in, both from Ohio. Very cool. Jack from Westville, Ohio. And Al from Ohio as well. So Ohio is in the building. So thank you guys for joining. You guys got any questions by any chance? Let me know. This is actually our 28th live. I'm solo dolo today because it's 4th of July and a lot of people have plans. So it is my live. So I guess I drew the short stick to show up. So I will be honest with you, cut this little short today at 7:30 because we're gonna go watch the fireworks. But I'm here for you guys. You guys got any questions? Let me know. That's what I'm here. But yeah, so upstate New York. Hey, how's it going? You know what? I lived outside in Jersey for a long time in Jackson. A lot of people know Jackson because of Six Flags. But I just recently did a road trip. It was awesome, phenomenal. My daughter's turning 16, and I think I'm getting to that age. Man, she's about to leave the nest, right? So I took a long road trip from Chicago to New York. Once in the Empire State Building, once in Statue of Liberty, once in Ground Zero. Amazing. Um, Went and saw Niagara Falls. Very cool. So went to Toronto. So it was definitely it was a bucket list, I would say. So very cool. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining. Thank you for going. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Happy 4th of July. I was in the building. Thank you.
Goodbye.
East Colorado. Hey, how's it going, Colorado? I used to live in Westminster, Colorado. My dad was actually part of the Denver Airport project. He built that airport. Very cool. So I got questions for you guys. You guys know I'm here for questions for you, but I have a question for the audience. The audience is that why did you get into this? Did you get into this because this is something that you have a passion for, and on top of being a passion or an outlet that you can make a couple extra bucks, or is it something that you just purely thought as a side hustle, and then you just gradually increase your skill sets to be able to create better, bigger, better things? I just wondering that, because personally, to be honest with you, I'm geeky into it. My father was a carpenter, as I said, and to me, woodworking is just a relaxation. It's an outlet for me. So I honestly probably don't charge enough for anything that I make. If I was to make it as a business, purely business, I'd have to charge a ton more money. But I make a lot of memorial things for people, so I really pour my heart and soul into those types of things. Hobby turned into a side hustle for myself. There you go. So yeah, exactly. So what type of work are you doing? Are you doing CNC work? Are you doing 3D printing work? Are you doing laser work? What type of work is everyone doing as well? You know, because we all have a different niche. You know, and the one thing that I say too for people is that hold on, what did it say? Hold up, your dad was part of Denver Airport. You have to tell us about that conspiracy theory, underground tunnels, UFOs, and all that stuff. So I will say this: when I lived in Denver, Colorado, I live in Westminster, which is like next. I actually went to school in Denver, and I lived in Westminster. That's how like neighboring towns. If you look up in the mountains, there was a huge cross, like a lit cross, and that was kind of interesting. But then when you went hiking up in the Rocky Mountains, um, there's like a U.S. Air Force base that doesn't exist that exists. That's all I'm saying. Love side hustles, absolutely. One thing that I would say though, when it comes to side hustles, is try to find your niche. Try to find your niche. You don't have to try to sell everything and anything. You know, you see so many people that they're not successful because they're too watered down in what they're offering. If you specialize in a niche, like my niche is memorial. You know, I make memorial things. You don't have to make memorial things, but I'm not saying I can't make other things outside of that. But because I specialize in that, that I have a niche that I'm uniquely I have a certain unique customer base, and I'm able to charge a premium price because I'm providing a premium product. I print RC cars and have them machined. Very cool. Very cool. You got to check out if you're printing RC cars, uh, UV printers. I don't know if you've seen a UV printer. Those are pretty dope. It's basically kind of like a DTF printer, but you're able to print anything decal. A lot of people go crazy with that. The conspiracy theories have begun. Little of everything. Got a Infinity CNC, Omtech 60 watt, and other basic wood tools. Yeah. So that just goes to show. I'm sure Kurt. When you're saying I got this or that, you're modestly kind of saying I have this or that. But at the end of the day, what they always say is like something you have, that you take for granted, or something you have whatever. That's someone's dream, right? And a lot of times people understand you built up to that level. And as the old saying goes, when you have one, sometimes means you have none, right? And you start building these things. And the number one question we get on these lives is, what is the best laser to buy? And I tell people all the time, how much money do you have, or how much money do you have to spend? And at the end of the day, it's if most of the time when you purchase a laser, what you think you're initially going to make, or the reason you're buying your laser, you find yourself doing something else. And the other thing is that when you have a laser, that some of these like really unique, extremely detail-oriented projects, they take hours and hours and hours and hours. So by having two or by having six, you can do them. So, and the other thing as well is that I don't think that one laser is better than the other. Just one laser is better at doing something. For instance, would I take this 60-watt laser and engrave something wood? No. Would I take a 40-watt laser, over here? Gets confusing sometimes. I'm just saying every single laser has its unique reason why you want to pull it out and use it. Need a niche for sure. Absolutely. Aliens, I knew it. People are going to start adding all these memes from that ancient alien show. Recently added a 3D printer to my arsenal as well. Very, very cool. So, Steven! Steven's one of my loyal subscribers. Thank you, Steven. He's even here when I'm not present. So thank you, Steven. One of the ones I was actually mentioning who sends me an email if I don't make the live, just sends me an email to check up on me. That's very, very cool. I appreciate that. I did woodworking and scroll sawing as a hobby for 25 years, and about 5 years ago, someone gave me a laser, and I have been hooked ever since, hoping it's an inside hustle. Very nice. Congratulations, Jack. I've been looking to get into fiber laser. I was curious if you can use to cut 22 gauge steel, and how many watts you need one. Okay, so Give me a second, and I'm going to provide you with a point of contact. Here's the thing when it comes to fiber lasers, right? So different power levels, right, are going to be able to. Okay, let's step it back. The big difference is, do you want to cut, right? And what I mean is completely cut out, or do you want to actually engrave? Something like, I don't know if you've ever seen one of my challenge coins. Something like this, So I've highly obviously went into that, but now I'm not cutting my own blank, so to speak, so I don't need something that's powerful. But then I also have engraved some pretty thick steel. That's an EOD for United States Marines. So yeah, give me a second here, and I will share with you someone that Steve says he can't join. Email me the link. Hold on one second, guys. Hey, Steve, the link is in the group email that everyone's on. Click on that, or let me send it to you. Okay, hold on. Steve's gonna join. For some reason, he can't seem to get in. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. We're having technical difficulties. Yeah. 1 second, guys. I guess. And I just sent it to Steve, so he'll probably be joining us shortly. So the Colorado Venture Club, what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, I'm going to provide you my email address here. Let's see here. And then do me a favor, go ahead and shoot me an email, and I will set you up with a laser manufacturer so you can buy factory direct from overseas, save a ton of money, and then they can actually tell you exactly or speak to exactly what you're trying to make, and then sell you exactly what you need. Not necessarily what you think you want. Sometimes you're buying something, it's not necessarily what you need. So that may help. That's going to help you out a lot, and then obviously by buying a factory direct, it's going to save you a ton of money as well. My goal is to have a laser at some point. I do power carving and wood burning and stuff like that. I want to learn laser stuff first. So Amy, what I would suggest then, if you're going to do woodworking, that you purchase at least a 20-watt laser. A 20-watt laser, you can pretty much do anything. A 35 watts is even better. They do have a 60 watt here. Hey, what's going on, brother? If you have 65 watts higher,
Sorry, I was just getting rid of the echo there.
Yeah, it'll happen. You couldn't join from that email, the group email?
Yeah, the link I had was not that one.
Really? Weird. Okay. All right, I don't know. Yep. All right. Yeah, so I would definitely start with a 20 watt at least, and then go from there, and get kind of your feet wet. And the other thing is that also look into some of these laser manufacturers that later on have upgradable options. Just ask them. It's worth asking. Hey, are these going to be backwards compliant for future generations? 60 watt lasers and higher, I think, are phenomenal, cool, but not necessarily a necessity, right? I mean, you don't have to cut 2x4s with a laser, but you can. Your coins are the best. Appreciate it, Steve. So I know you're in Canada. It's not 4th of July today. But,
it is not. I made a coin too. You probably, I'll have to get uncomfortably close to the camera here to focus, but
hey, I'm gonna go off camera so your camera blows up.
Okay. So I'm even bigger and uglier. Is that there? So this was done with the F1 Ultra. It's down about, I don't know, 3/4 of a millimeter.
Okay. Yes.
Which I figure is pretty good for a 20-watt diode laser or 20-watt fiber laser.
Ideally both, but I understand it might not be possible. Yeah. But like I said, you can start with one. Diode lasers are super cheap. Now, when you get into the fiber lasers, they do get quite expensive. But diode lasers are pretty cheap. So if you're buying a fiber laser, I wouldn't buy one. I would first talk to someone and say, hey, I want to do this type of thing. And then also be honest with them and say, well, this is what I want to start doing, but I don't have the ability to do this in the future because going from, let's just say, a 40 watt to a 60 watt may not be big of a difference in price, but it may be a difference if you can't actually do what you want to do. So just keep that in mind as well. Steve's making it rain.
All right, man. Thanks, Steven.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes, it was a journey to get here. Rick sent me the wrong links, I think, and he's trying to overthrow the channel. Notice everybody else disappeared this week.
No, Roger. I know Roger had plans for 4th of July.
Yeah.
So most of us in the States. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I said earlier in the live, I was going to cut off at 7:30 because I'm going to go see the fireworks. But I've been missing some lives because I've been crazy busy. So
yeah, we can have an abbreviated one because half of the people. Well, I'm not sure anybody will get here from my channel tonight because the link I shared was the wrong one. It's the same one I tried to join with. But hopefully people meandered over to your channel to find it.
I'm not sure how that. I did one at a time, so that
yeah, I know, but it just, I don't know. I used the ones you shared and it didn't seem to work. Oh well. Anyway.
I do fiber for a living, so I hear of fiber lasers. It's kind of funny. Oh, so when you do fiber, you mean you're a fiber splicer? Or what do you mean?
Like glass? Like OM4 or
single mode, multi-mode? Well, then you can repair your own laser because that's all it is.
Yeah, really.
Go start your clicker and clean your lens. Click.
I'm still. I have this Commarker S6, B6, sorry, which is their new one.
Okay.
It's still Kickstarter mode, but I have one, and I've run into a challenge, so they're still trying to fix me up. But cross my fingers. Hopefully, in the next week or two, they'll send me a new control board for the front panel so that I can actually turn the laser on.
Step back really quick. What type of laser is that?
It's a 60-watt MOPA.
There you go. See? Fiber laser.
Yeah.
So, this case, everyone's kind of wondering what that is.
Yeah, I've been kind of anxious to get it going, but I've run into problems. It's really, really early days, though, right? Like no one else has one of these, and I ran into some challenges with it, and the documentation, of course, is non-existent because the laser doesn't really exist yet. So, we'll get there.
I've been looking at We Create Lasers, so I decided that this is slicker than hot chicken fat. I stuck on a doorknob.
If you're just starting out, I think the We Create is a great laser to do that. They're still so that I reamed them out a bit this morning. Actually, I was talking to them because they took away bidirectional engraving, and I said, like, what the hell? Like, where did it go? And they said they were working on optimizing it or something, so that they'll put it back when they get their testing done. But I was a little annoyed that something took an awfully long time.
So, Stephen, I can't say that I have one, but I can tell you all that I've seen from people that I trust near and dear their word, and that it seems as if that We Create is a laser you can hit the ground running. They've made the software and the interface extremely user-friendly. I would say that is pro. The only con that I would say is it has a smaller base. So if you're trying to
Well, I don't know. They sold a lot of them because quite a few people who watch my channel bought them. They sent me a pretty big check, actually.
no, I'm saying smaller base, like the cuttable space.
Oh, it's not a lot smaller than an S1. Little narrower.
Right. I'm saying nothing has all pros, right? There's pros and cons everywhere.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say the only con that I could see was that it's a smaller, a smaller workable space. So if you knew that or you know that going into it, then you really don't have a con.
Yeah,
You knew that.
It's still, I mean, it's got to, for entry level, it's got to be my favorite laser. I actually have the 40-watt one sitting on my workbench right now, and I'm using it.
Says I've seen some long haul stuff engraved a stainless steel table, kind of nutty. So I've done long haul splicing too for AT&T, Verizon, Crown Castle, yeah, Comcast, Chase Bank, Northern Trust. I've done that stuff too. So we were actually out on a job and we said that the fiber was running so hot that it was shooting out like a ball, and everyone started laughing, like literally making fun of one of my coworkers. I didn't physically see it, so I have to be honest saying I was laughing as well. And we finally got it on video. And for that long haul, they had it turned up so high because you can't see a visible beam on fiber, and it was literally like shooting something out, which is kind of wild. I have to see if I can get that video from him. Post that on
It's IR. It's usually in the 800 nanometer range.
Yeah, you normally can't see it, right, at all.
Yeah. Yeah, the camera in the WeCreate is the best reason to buy one. Now, keep in mind, to use the camera, you need to use their Make It software. But I don't mind it, actually. It seems to work okay.
So, Steve, what would you say the advantage of using WeCreate software versus using Lightroom? Other than
it's easy to use.
Okay.
So Lightburn's very powerful, but with power comes complexity, right?
Right.
The WeCreate, if you can't, like, you should be able to take it out of the box and plug it in and be able to engrave something in like 15 minutes.
So is there things that are proprietary in this WeCreate software that you cannot do in Lightroom?
Yeah, the camera for one thing, and their camera is hyper accurate. Mine was, just to kind of give you an idea, mine, I positioned something on the camera and then I engraved it, and it was off by, I don't know, maybe a millimeter. So not much, but I calibrated the camera and now it's dead on. It's like less than a millimeter accuracy. So I think that's pretty awesome. Now, you do also, with the WeCreate, have a really good integration into Lightburn. Probably the best one of the third-party lasers, including some that were designed for Lightburn. But you don't get the camera, unfortunately. And I keep hoping against hope that they're going to figure out a way to get their camera working in Lightburn. But I think that's a stretch, just because of the way Lightburn's camera operation works. But for a beginner, Make It works just as well. In fact, it probably works better for a beginner than Lightburn does.
There you go. So that's your answer. So we are on our 24th line. That was higher than some reason. 24th line. Very cool.
That guy with a laser. Welcome. We've exchanged some messages this week.
Yeah. I have WeCreate. If you use MS Word, you can use Make It. Simple effect software is getting better slowly.
Yeah, and they are continuing to work on it. I still owe them a video for the conveyor option they have. This thing can engrave something that's 147 inches long. Like, I don't have a piece of material long enough to run through this conveyor. So, so it's kind of cool. And they also have an IR module that you can plug in. Now, the dream of quick changing laser modules in the WeCreate is not something I'd say is realistic. It's a little tedious to change modules, but you can do it.
I would say an advantage of that long of a conveyor would not always necessarily be that it's a one particular engraving that's that long. I think it would be cool to just set up like 20 or 30 of something, right? Just have it. That would.
Yeah, that's certainly something you could do. I don't know. It's just like when I set up this conveyor, I put all of you can basically extend it with all these little insert rails. And my shop is 25 by 35. And obviously I've got tools and things in there, but I don't really, well, sure, I can talk to them. I don't really have a space in my workshop long enough to run this conveyor. So
Tell him, Steve. Send it to Rick. Actually, I finally just talked to Xtool for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't showed me any kind of love at all.
Yeah, they seem to have a cliquey group.
Yeah.
And they kind of stick with those people. I was lucky enough to kind of get in on the inside of that. It's I think what they do is they give you some of their, I'll say, older products to review first, and if you can inspire people with those, then they kind of amp you up. I don't know if anybody heard, by the way, Xtool has announced the Xtool M1 Ultra, which is like, these guys are just busy.
Is that the one with the enclosure?
No, the M1 Ultra. So they have an M1, which is a combination laser and cutter, like a vinyl cutter. The M1 Ultra has a laser, a pen, a cutter, and a printer, like a 3D or an inkjet printer. So it's kind of their all-in-one device for just crafty people.
I honestly would say that anytime that I've bought any device that was a multi-tool, it's never been the best of any.
Yeah, well, the difference here, I think, is that they've already perfected a lot of these things in other products, right? So
they redefined, they've made the best of this, the best of that.
Yeah, I mean, they're lasers. I know there's lots of people who don't like Xtool because they can be a little bit snooty. But they build great stuff. Like, it's reliable. So all of these things have these quick change modules, and I think you can I don't want to misquote it, but I think you can run 2 modules at the same time. So you could do some like cut and print kind of things if if you're making stickers or something, right? You could use either the cutter or the laser to cut stuff.
I see you said the blind man as he told his deaf dog.
Anyway, I think it's kind of cool. I'm not, well, at least I don't think I'm going to get one. They're already testing them with their beta crowd. I'm not really in that demographic just because I'm primarily laser CNC, but it's out there. Yeah,
so I guess there's 2 friends of mine that are friends of this person. I guess he's the senior marketing manager for Xtool. He's directly in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
We're talking that year. So let's see what happens. Something comes of it.
Yeah, they're a big company. But when you look at things like the F1 Ultra and now the M1 Ultra, if I was had any kind of financial interest in Lightburn as a company, I would be a little concerned right now.
Isn't that what Daniel got sent?
He got sent an S1. And again, you can use Lightburn on an S1, but you lose things like the multi-point focus, so you can't engrave across curves. Yeah. They have their own software, and it works really well. They got 200 people working on their software on Xtool Creative Space. That's more than Lightburn has in their whole company.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's very obvious laser manufacturer watching this, right?
Well, I don't know if they're watching it or not.
No, what I'm saying is that First time on a laser type video, and within 2 days he gets like 7 laser manufacturers trying to throw lasers at him.
Well, yeah.
But good for him that he picked and choose to see what he wanted. He just didn't settle on the first.
Yeah.
Through that.
So anyway, that one's out there. It got announced, I think, yesterday or the day before. Again, it's not my kind of laser, but if you have just like a small craft business where you're cutting, and doing some laser engraving, laser cutting, and cut and print kind of applications, this thing is pretty cool.
Very cool.
They actually have a contest. If you pre-order one, you can enter into a contest to go to China to their factory and build your own laser.
Wow.
So there's like 3. I think they're going to offer it to 3 people. I'm not sure I'd want to go to China these days, but
Wear your mask.
well, it's not even that. It's a political situation.
Wow.
We've been in Canada. We've been going to blows with China over things like election interference. So they're not too happy with us right now. So I figure I'll stay here.
Yeah.
But it would be kind of a cool prize, right? You get to go to their factory, see how their factory works, and actually go on the line and assemble your own laser.
Yeah, that would be cool. Except when it doesn't work, you'd have no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah. Who built this thing? Oh, me.
Damn it, I should have been better at soldering.
Well, I don't think it's quite that far. I got a feeling you're mostly standing around watching while other people actually work on your laser. But I thought it was kind of a cool prize.
Yeah, that's cool. That's definitely cool. So what's going on, guys? Anybody got special plans for 4th of July? I know it's not necessarily just the United States based. We have people in UK, Australia, Canada, Mexico. We've even seen some of our feeds coming from the Philippines.
We work on the 4th of July. I worked on the 1st of July, which is Canada Day. So,
I got an email like 10 o'clock this morning that said, feel free to shut it down and go home and enjoy your 4th of July early. And I had a 3:30 and a 4:30 meeting scheduled. I'm like, oh, man.
That's when you go, I
I
gotta go, I'm sick.
7 messages. Hey, are you canceling your last meeting?
My wife went traveling 2 weeks ago and she came back and she tested positive for COVID. So I was waiting for it to hit. Apparently I have that gene in my genome that makes me immune to COVID because I didn't isolate it all from her and I still don't have it and she's better now. So
my wife is French Canadian and we did go out for Canada Day and I'd have to actually show the picture. They all wear their Canadian shirts and blah blah blah. But today's my day. America.
Ours is always on Monday, so you don't have to mess up a whole week.
Hey Rose, how's it going? Thank you for joining the live.
Hey Rose.
So on our 30th episode, I'm gonna make it 30 because that sounds like a good number. What did I say we're on?
24 tonight.
24. On our 30th live, I'm going to give away a laser. It's not sponsored by a manufacturer. It's coming out of my pocket for everyone's support. And the only requirements is that everyone on the live, that you'd have to like and subscribe to every single one of our channels, like at least one video, and comment on at least one video. And you actually have to do it because before I send it to you, I'm going to verify it. And it really sucked to actually win and not do it. So
and the inspiration for this contest is your wife coming to you and saying, get all that junk out of my basement.
No, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking I have a 60-watt laser coming my way. And
Yeah.
when I make some space. And I think 30 lives in is a lot. Like, I've been looking at our stats and looking at how many views we're getting live versus how many views we're getting on the replay, and where our views are coming from. We're doing pretty well. I've got attention, or we've got attention, so to speak, for some very large channels that are like quadruple the size of ours.
Cool.
And so you may see some special guests that are going to do guests. They are not going to dedicate themselves to be on a weekly live, but we may have some very influential people that are known in the industry. You may see appear on certain guest appearances on our channel.
Nice.
So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I think I think it would be nice to have the occasional fellow YouTuber guest, just to kind of get a different perspective, right? Because I mean, I don't know. Well, I mean, you have a day job, but I do this full time, and it's just killing me. Like, I just have no time, and I'd like to kind of hear their perspective on how they manage to get videos out on a regular basis. Like, I was working on one today that was supposed to be done like last Friday. So
yes, Clack is one of them. We had mentioned him. So I think Clack is about the same size channel as us.
Yeah, he's neck and neck with me, actually.
Yeah, but the channels that reaching out to us would, if you look at our stacks, would trump us. They're like quadruple us. So the fact that they even know we exist is pretty good. Like, oh, you know who I am?
I'm sure it's our budding personalities. You know,
you know who I am? You know, yeah. You have well over 150,000 subscribers and over 13 million views, and you're interested in us. You're doing something right.
Yeah, I think I have pushing 3 million views.
Yeah,
about 1 million a year that I've been doing videos. So
yeah, I have 3.1, almost 3.2 million views on YouTube, and about 3 million views on TikTok, 36,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 13,000 on TikTok. So it's growing, always growing. I feel the same way. The video I've been working on today is supposed to be done last week.
It's just, it just takes so much time. I mean, I've been working on a lot of things. I've been doing this week and last week, I've been working on these. I think I talked about these before. These are actually for this tournament. It's a big D&D tournament. I think there's about 100 teams of four-person teams. And so I make these.
Oh, hold on, pull that.
So this is the like the story behind these is they're CNC and then laser engraved on the front. I put my logo on the back there. But
pull that open one more time before you put that away. Pull it open.
Oh.
So the felt.
Yeah.
Did you
laser cut
it, or did you do the powdery to make it felt?
No, this is just adhesive. Like it's a felt with adhesive on one side. I laser cut all that.
Nice.
So the top, it becomes the box for rolling, and then there's 2 sets of dice and a character, and you can use this for a pencil, or when you take the pencil out, you can put your phone in or a iPad mini in there.
So do you watch any of Daniel's actual videos?
Yeah.
So if you heard him say flock it?
Say
flock it.
Block or black?
Flock it.
Okay.
Like
no.
Saying fuck it, flock it.
Oh, okay. Flock it. Yes. Okay. I do have a flocker, actually. Someone gave me one. It's quite messy though.
Yeah, because in all his jewelry box builds,
yeah,
blocks the inside.
Oh yeah.
But do you have Harbor Freight tools by you?
We have lots of stores that are similar to that.
They sell a pretty fairly inexpensive tool that does it. So
yeah, I have one. I used it once and went, wow, this is dirty. It's dusty.
Listen to Steven here, guys. I appreciate everyone joining the live. Do us a favor. It does help our algorithm. Do us a favor and go ahead and smash that like button on this video. We appreciate it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, no, that's definitely nice. And you know what?
Yeah, I've made a pile of those. I made this guy for so this is, I think, their grand prize. And I make a set of 4, one for each member of the team. And these are limited edition because they're engraved with his logo for the tournament and the year. So, but I, as a result of that tournament last year, I sold quite a few of those. People came to me and said, "Oh, I played really well, but I didn't win, so I didn't get one. Can I buy one?"
But I think there's something to say that's practice what you preach, right? And one of the things we say is get in a niche, because if you get in a niche, you can make a lot more money. Somebody wants something uniquely for a particular reason. So that is something that someone would pay a premium price for, a premium quality.
Yeah, and I mean, I make those. Well, I let people. I list several different kinds of hardwood to make them. But if somebody said, "Hey, I want ebony, a box made out of ebony," I'd say, "Okay, it's going to be hundreds of dollars, but I can make it for you." Right.
There you go. That's an option for you. A dart case. People are geeky in a dart. Sure.
Yeah.
You really kind of have that set up template.
Yeah, and I mean, so anything nerdy, we'll say that people take insanely seriously, right? Like the people who play certainly darts, or like as a like a high skill game of darts, or people who play Dungeons and Dragons. Those people are hardcore, right? And it's like a guy with a dart case that's custom made. I made some cigar boxes too, actually. But a guy pulls this box out of with his name or something engraved on it, and he slides it open, and there's darts inside, right?
Yeah,
people step aside when that guy heads to the board, right?
I agree.
It's like intimidating your competition.
Yes.
Maybe I'll make a dart case. If I make one, Stephen, I'll send you one.
There you go, Steve. You've inspired him. The double Steve.
Yeah, it's just like these things, and again, like we always had that discussion of whether things like a CNC is a tool or a laser is a tool, right? I used both of those on this, right, and I couldn't build this without them. So,
thank you for joining. Look, you literally turned the TV off to tune in to us. What can I say to that? Thank you so much. Appreciate
all right.
Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Now, I do want to have a question for people who have joined the live. Is that how many people are actually watching us, who are coming to us because they actually have questions because they own an existing laser, or people who actually don't have a laser and they're just watching because they're saving up for it, or they want to be an educated consumer and purchase the right laser. There's a big difference in the two different followings, and I think some people kind of take a seat back because maybe they're timid to speak up. So I would say that if you're watching our live and you have questions because you are considering purchasing the laser, speak up. That's the point of this whole laser. This is the point of these lives, right? You don't have to email someone. You're going to have an immediate answer. So speak up. Sorry.
It's a 3D printer.
I have a laser, but I do have a 3D printer.
Yeah, I mean, 3D printers are kind of the gateway, right? The gateway drug for all the tech nerdy things, because 3D printers are actually pretty cheap, and you can do a lot with a 3D printer. But if you want to get away from additive design and get into subtractive design like you would with a CNC or laser, where you're taking things away to make something, they're the only tools that can do that. But
Rosen, I would say if you have 3D printer related questions, not that none of us are competent to answer your question, but probably Roger's your guy. And any of our live, I'm sure you've seen the background, 6 different 3D printers going.
Yeah, I have several 3D printers. I actually started with a 3D printer years ago.
Okay, there you go.
When what today is a $200 3D printer was $1,000. That's when I bought mine, my first one, and so I've been using 3D printers a long time too.
He says I'm learning and I'm saving for one. Well, hopefully, I know you didn't win the one on Roger's giveaway. Hopefully you win one on mine. So remember, our 30th episode will be a laser giveaway.
I should talk to some of the laser companies I deal with and see if they'll comp us one.
Absolutely.
Do another contest.
So I think it's 240,000 subscribers between all of us.
Yeah, it's yeah. Well, does that count?
240
Does that count overlap?
245,000 subscribers between all of us. If you add all of our subscribers up, 245,000. That says something.
Yeah. Well, either people are desperate for something to watch, or they're just desperate to learn, right? I mean, it's so a friend of mine actually, he bought an Xtool D1 Pro at an auction sale somewhere, and he reached out to me. He lives 10 hours from me, but he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've got this laser now," and he had all kinds of like day one kind of questions, right? So, like we had a long conversation about protective glasses, for example, but he's come along and he's starting to engrave things. Of course, photos of his kids is the big thing, right? Because he has 2 young girls, and that's where he's starting. We need this guy on our channel.
Yeah, Steven's a phenomenal man. He comes to live. He'll send me an email. Hey, dude, you all right? New content comes out. He's right away to make a comment.
Yeah, he's very. He always leaves nice comments on my videos.
Same with the laser. That laser guy.
Yeah.
You guys appreciate you guys, man. You guys are definitely showing a loyal subscriber base and commenting and genuinely interested in our channels and learning and growing with us. So appreciate you guys. And if there's any way we can ever help you guys, reach out to us. Let us know. We have a relationship with manufacturers. If you ever want to purchase something, maybe we have an affiliate link. You can use to get a discount. You never know. We're not always spamming all the time, but doesn't mean we don't have that in our email box. We could give you 10% off, 15% off, or something. So it's worth asking. It can't hurt to ask.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you probably do too. I spent like 4 hours today just answering email from people going, "Hey, how do I do this?" Or I have this problem. And a lot of times you can just look at, like, if I get a photo of here's the disaster that's happening to me, I can look at it and go, oh, tweak this, right? And so last week, what was her name? Well, Johnny is her first name, but she was doing some food stakes for putting, like, when you go to hotels and stuff. And she's making a lot of these for some hotel up in Alaska. And we had several email exchange today on how to improve the performance of engraving a whole bunch of those, because it's taking her, an hour and a half to make, 30 of them or something. And we got into a good conversation about that. So, and those are just things you learn the hard way sometimes, right? And, the whole point of this channel is to answer questions to save you time, so you don't have to do that, because I've toiled a lot, and it's easier to just say, oh, just do this. But at the same time, it's always, if you just give somebody the answer, they don't always learn.
Right.
But sometimes if someone will say, hey, I'm having this problem, my immediate question is, well, what have you tried? Right. So have you actually struggled here? Right, because that's when you learn things.
So I have seen you voluntarily offer settings. Not a lot of people will do that. You'll see people, they'll make this video and they'll show something, and they won't show any of the settings at all. And I'm not faulting any of that, because that's hours and hours and hours of being able to achieve that result. And they're not going to give that up.
Yeah, I try. I mean, certainly if I forget, like if I don't put usually the settings in the video, or you don't actually see them in the video, it's because I forgot, as opposed to, I'm trying to keep it close to my chest. But right, if somebody sends me a message and says, hey, what were the settings for that? If I can remember, I'll send them, right? It's not secret to me.
Right. But what I'm saying is the fact that you do that, and I do that as well, that not a lot of people will do that. But the other thing is that, like, when it comes to, like, I get people to ask me the challenge coin, and they're like, what are your settings? And I'm like, dude.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Fiber lasers tend to be a bit different, right?
To me, it's like you'd have to buy the coin from the same supplier, because the metal is going to be totally different. And you have to have the same, even having the same laser, if you don't have the same supplier, it's the different total metal, so it doesn't mean anything at all.
Yeah, like these coins, like this one I showed. You can buy some of the cheap ones of these on Amazon. They're brass plated, and the second you cut through the brass, it's like aluminum or something underneath, and then all hell breaks loose, right? So there's lots of education around materials too, especially with fiber lasers, because fiber lasers are a bit picky about materials, especially if you're trying to get a great job, right? Like some of the coins you did, you can only do that with solid materials.
So I want to address this question here at the bottom. It says, my advice to someone who can't afford a cheap laser is to have to pay interest-free payments every 2 weeks. So early on when I started, um, I think when you do these laser reviews, you're only like satisfying the manufacturers, right? They set these requirements. I'll give you this for free. We'll ask you to do X, Y, Z. And you do. And that's just fine, but it's kind of tedious work. You're doing what they like. But once the review is out of the way, when you're actually making some with the laser, to me, that's what I really enjoy, right? Because it's unscripted, it's whatever I want, something cool, and people enjoy that as well. But I early on had people, a woman actually reach out to me, and it was because I was doing these really highly detailed engravings of wood. And most people assumed that I was painting them, and then I was engraving them, and it wasn't. It was actually stained. And the type of wood I was using. So she had promised her husband that she could finance this, and that based on her area, she made the assumption that she'd be able to easily achieve what I was doing and sell in her area, and she miserably failed. 4 payments in, she hasn't made anything or can't even figure out how to use a laser. So what I would say is this, that not everyone hits the ground running. There is a learning curve to using any type of laser. So don't ever put yourself in a financial situation that you immediately have to make a profit to be able to make a payment. Like first off, 30 days, you shouldn't even be trying to sell to anyone. You should just be messing around with stuff for yourself. Once you're done, you learn your laser, then go to town. Or if you are selling to people, sell people like your families, your friends. So honestly, if it's not flawless, they won't care. But you can't just, because you can create something on Canva.com and make it look really good on a advertisement form, doesn't necessarily mean you take that and put it in a laser. That's just my 2 cents. I don't ever want to tell someone to buy something and put themselves in a predicament where they can't financially pull themselves out.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if you're gonna buy one anyway, like if you're starting out, you're probably not going to open a business and then buy a laser, right? You're either probably already have a business, or or you're just a hobbyist and you just want to get going, and you're going to buy it anyway, as long as you've got some confidence that you're not going to be financially strapped to buy a laser. Yeah, things like Afterpay is a great way to get it sooner, but you do have to pay that bill, right? So.
Right. See, there you go. That's exactly what Stephen's saying. So, and I'm not trying to discourage anyone in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that most of the time, people who are trying to make this a second income is because they're supplementing what they don't have, right? Sometimes it's like, hey, I want to pull myself out of debt. Sometimes it's, hey, I'm trying to save for a down payment on a new house. Sometimes it's like, hey, I got my bills covered, but I would just like a nicer car. Everyone has their own reasons why they're doing this, right? Roger said he's took some really nice vacations based off this. He's has a really nice pension. But when you splurge on something and you're spending on something that's a side hustle, maybe you're not so much self-conscious on how much money you're spending because you feel like it's self-deserved. But some people, it's a necessity. It's not necessarily spoiling. It's pulling themselves out of poverty, or it's supplementing something that they're lacking. Because as an economy as a whole, I think we're all kind of hurting. We're all kind of suffering. So, yeah. Yeah, so any more questions? Drop below. Drop below. That's what we're here for. I'm actually going to drop off in 6 minutes so I can go see that America fireworks. So
Well, we'll cut it short. We'll just end it in 6 minutes. Because I actually have a bit of work I gotta get done too. So
what's the best holiday to use a craft fair? Christmas?
Christmas is the big one.
Christmas. Yeah, I would say Christmas.
Yeah, and like if you're gonna sell things at a Christmas craft fair, you need to start making things in like October, maybe even into September.
So Halloween, I don't know if you guys ever saw it. I made these lanterns, right? And I just kind of made them last minute. I made like 50 of them, and they sold out. And I posted on Facebook, and it was like gone. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I made like another 50, and then somebody ordered like 30, and I'm like, dude, Halloween's tomorrow. Like, no, you know what I mean? So they answer you on, I call it naked when you buy just pure wood, and they made it part of the Halloween party was for them to paint it themselves. She's like, that actually pretty cool. So I cut them all out, put it all together, and she did that. But Halloween to me was huge. So yeah, maybe something to think about too. But this year, I tell you what, I'm gonna have a way head start on that.
This is why I don't do craft fairs, because it's just so chaotic, right? Like it's. I mean, it's great to meet people though, right? Like
networking for sure.
Like I did go to a craft fair a couple of years ago and got all kinds of business, not for things I was selling, just standing around, and somebody said, can you make this? Yeah, of course. But it's just so hustle bustle. Like it's great. You just know by the time somebody gets to a table at a craft fair, they're tired because they've been working.
I know Roger's big into craft fairs. He lets his granddaughter sell his stuff. My sister is like stupid big into craft fairs. I personally never sold at a craft fair. Like to me, like when I make multiple of something, I post it on Facebook. It's pretty much gone in 2 days. So I don't think I don't know. But I'm not discouraging anyone to do craft fairs. I just think that's a whole nother level, right? You need tables, a display, the presentation of your product can mean a lot. My belts on my laser are tight on top and sagging at the bottom. How can I fix this? Tight on top, sagging at the bottom. I almost like need to be pulled apart more.
What kind of laser is it?
Yeah, what kind of laser are you talking about?
And while we're doing that, oops.
Rick, Halloween lanterns look awesome.
Did you make Halloween lanterns? I made Halloween lanterns too.
Yeah.
Well, they're actually like you can use them at Christmas too. A couple of people I know string them up at Christmas time too.
Yeah, so that was some people are geeky into the what is it? Halloween before Christmas, right? Is that what it's called? Black and white cartoon characters. I forget their name, the little skinny guys.
So okay. So Stephen, if you haven't seen the video I did on making lanterns, watch that one too. I used it. I was going after kind of a Japanese lantern sort of thing, with like faux rice paper on the outside of it. They ended up kind of cool, and they look really nice. So D1 Pro, there's an adjustment screw at the back of each of the Y rails, well, and the X rail on I think it's on the right hand side. There's a screw you can loosen the screw on the top of the rail, and then tighten the screw that's in the end, and that'll tighten up the belts. But you don't want them too tight, but you certainly don't want them sagging, because that'll just make terrible engraves.
Yep. I don't know what my wife's cooking, but it smells damn good, I tell you that. But I just got the whiff. It's like in the cartoon character when you start floating.
Well, she's French, so she can cook anything.
You could cook for sure. That's it. Yeah, I definitely put on some pounds after marrying her. All right, we got 1 minute left, guys. Questions? Drop them. Got 1 minute left. We'll wrap it up. So appreciate all you guys stopping in. The pre-4th of July. I know a lot of people have plans today.
Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, I guess, is the official holiday, right?
Yes. or as people would say, Happy American Day.
American.
Yeah, America. We've hit time, guys. I thank you. Appreciate your time. Thank you for joining. Sorry for missing the last couple lives.
Sorry, I was late. Rick,
And
I'll send you the email you sent me with all the stream links.
You know what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna completely reply to that and copy paste just to make sure. But
Okay.
also do me a favor, just log in to StreamYard and see if you can just see them without me sending it. Just curious. Thanks again, everyone, for joining. Appreciate you guys joining us live. Have a safe and a great 4th of July. Make sure you keep all your fingers and your toes.
Yes. Make sure you throw the firecracker once you light it.
But not at kids. No matter how much they piss you off.
Thanks all.
Have a good one.
Take care.